Hello, welcome to the adventures of Valheim. And today I'm gonna be spending 100 days in Valheim. And unlike other 100 days, this isn't just regular 100 days challenge. This is 100 days in Valheim without killing Bonemass. Will I live or will I die? Join in for my adventure to see how I will fare in this cruel and cold Viking world. Now, welcome back. This has been a long time. Now, this is my third 100 days challenge in Valheim. Last 100 days I've defeated Eiktag Elder, but this time I'm defeating the slime boss itself, Bonemass. This is also the 100 days which has the most deaths I've ever recorded, but I'll get to that later. However, like usual, 2 rules for this challenge that I'll be talking about, and I'll go for the first rule, much like the same as previous 2. Rule 1. Don't beat the boss until last few days before day 100. This means that you need to wait for fighting the boss for a very long time. I highly advise fighting the easy ones in day 99 and longer one at max 95. However, doing it earlier will fail the challenge, so be aware of that. And rule 2 is no cheating, play legit. What this means is that you need to play according with the game intention and not using any exploits. Things like stack breaker is allowed to do, but things like no clipping at crypt isn't allowed. What this means is that you need to use the game says, and this will work wonderfully at game through. Now with these 2 rules out of the picture, let's get into it. Day 0. Starting out, I unlocked some new crafting recipes, followed up by trying to sail towards the crypt. Until I changed my mind and headed back because I forgot to make a portal. I planted some trees, and on day 1, I headed towards the crypt island, as I like to call it. I placed a portal, looted, and I immediately found the Bonemass locator, where I'm supposed to head. On day 2, I headed towards another, and you get the drill with the other 2 days. I smelted the iron, and in day 5, I upgraded my pickaxe, which, spoiler alert, I needed it. I made an obliterator, and it was gonna be handy for garbage that I didn't need since it turns into coal. I also bought Umix Fresh since I'm gonna allow me to get the Frostner, because also spoiler alert, it will be very handy once Ashlands came out. Day 7, I headed towards the big Mighty Pooh's location, which allowed me to have a shortcut. I found a school and crypt nearby, but I was placing my base near the fire geysers, which will be handy because coal. And while at the base, my first ever raid happened. Day 8. I raised my base and created a treehouse harbor type place, which I finished in day 9. I didn't have good materials, but it looked pretty alright and decent, so it's fine I guess. I also dug the geyser area so these HGM lost souls will turn themselves into free coal, which is very hot. I made some smelters, and on day 10 I placed some items. Put some stake walls so that animals will die quicker when hitting, though that's mostly for the aesthetic. When exploring, I found a plains biome nearby, which a mosquito nearly killed me, yet I survived. I hunted a large buffalo type enemy which in a while he had a kaiju fight with the tree monsters of the swamp, which ultimately the winner will be rewarded with the axe strike in its head. I hunted the second buffalo for the extra pelts, and on this day forward it's gonna become my cape. Beautiful cape. Day 11 to 12. I collected some iron which I was melting for the bars. Day 13 I had the brilliant idea to find a new NPC which was far away, which was unlocked during the Elder's quest. My only real issue is that I forgot the portal stuff to take, so I needed to head towards the nearby Black Forest to get towards the chamber, and it was pretty far away. When exploring at night I finally found the NPC which was near a plains biome, unluckily, but in day 40 I looked at the map and found that the nearest plain tower was pretty much near the northern part of the crypt, which I explored. I made a new cosmetic station which allowed me to customize myself, but I didn't need that. I cut some trees and headed straight towards the seal tower, and it would be handy towards early on. Day 50, I made a staircase which nearly killed me, but I got on top. Certain enemies with goosebumps. Now these things are incredibly important items, especially in the two late game biomes. And in day 16 I managed to get into the mini boss, and well, it may seem very easy. I won't want to take a hit from that big black guy, so I used my bow like an American white cop and killed it. The shaman guy was a bit of a cakewalk, so I killed the native. Now, with the loot, finally got myself the egg, which would be incredibly handy when making a farm. But as of now I left it. While I was hunting for logs, I was ambushed by the mosquito, which ended up being the first death I ever got. But I'll die later even more. In day 17, I killed the bison, melted all the iron from the swamp base, and headed straight home with it. And in day 18, I replaced my old chest with the new iron chest, which has much better storage than previous chest, which will be fine as of now. I also destroyed all the nearby swamp crats portal, as I don't need them anymore since I felt like they kinda lowered my PC frame rates. Day 19 I headed straight into the Black Forest mini boss, but before long I found the Plains boss. This marked my location for the Skeleton Lich boss, but this isn't Plains 100 days now. But I'll do it very later. Eventually I found the Skeleton mini boss location and placed a portal for it, the Irony, and headed straight into it. I was kinda arrogant since I already knew this was the easiest mini boss to deal with, since the mini boss doesn't hit hard, but I also forgot I got the root piece, which is very weak to fire, which led to my second death. I did manage to get my stuff and slay the mini boss, and then I headed straight towards my base. Day 20 to 21, I was getting some stone which I needed to build myself a hen house, which looks fine and dandy, and nearby the place I hunted some black slimes to get some new roof build pieces. And it looks pretty good, especially with those metal barbs. Day 22 I headed straight towards the third and final mini boss, which eventually led me to sleep, and in day 23 I climbed all the way up so that I can blast my portal in it. I tried to upgrade my gear until I've come to realize that the chicks are getting away. I forgot to close the door, so I made sure that the chickens were inside, which was tricky because the AI in this game is dumb. But like the sheep, they eventually found their way, and I sealed it. Day 24, I headed straight towards the lair of the snowflake fairy with his plated pups, and I finally came to face with it. He can be incredibly tough, but ultimately with his dumb IQ test and sheer luck, I managed to slay him and get the treasures and his pelts. Day 25, I explored every corner that I could find when I was heading back. Some dumbfuck destroyed my things, so I had to build all over again with the first cloaks and the skin of the goblins and the bones of the skellies. I headed straight towards the hill there, which took me towards night times. I also forgot to mention that I got a farm nearby, but I need to be careful how I manage it because certain mobs can destroy it. Because I need to wait later. Day 26, I built another boat with the two loading of the mini passage, which I was heading back into Hilder. I also forgot to mention that I slayed a sea serpent when recording, but eventually I showcased my chest in the chest. Day 27, I collected some things from my farm. And without mentioning the mountains mini boss location, I also found the Mistlands nearby. It's probably a really dangerous place to be in, but if you're really skilled at the game, even with the plains and silver tier, it's not as bad. And I found a perfect place for base to build, since I'll need a lot of Aether once I get to the plains tier. I also found a giant cockroach, which in this early on is really good because it can cut some trees, much like the trolls mined some coppers for me. Now, if you didn't know, Ugrasur cannot be caught with an axe outside black middle or higher, but since the soldier helped me, it's not a big deal. I also found the perfect infested mine location, which I needed to get that black cores for the new forge, which you didn't know you could get it way earlier rather than investing into plains tier. And you could get some really nice things with these, especially early Mistlands weapons. I also dug out the land bridge between my base, and mobs were getting stupidly annoying when destroying my crafting bench. I headed straight into mines, killed everything with poison and looted everything you come across. Remember when I said poison bombs were handy? Now, I also came across a 2-star and a 1-star cockroach, the smaller ones, and they're incredibly tough to kill with. A single swipe could kill me. But I did die to one of them, though he also got killed, so that's fine. Day 28, I looted all my stuff back and headed straight back. I probably faced the 2-star cockroach again, which if it decided to hug me, I could die from it. Otherwise its normal attacks will not do as much, which isn't very lethal. I lost all my arrows when firing against the larger cockroach, but it had a pretty low HUD, so I finished it off. I crafted a new crafting station, which sounds good until you realize that I only get the plains tier food with it, which is practically worthless. Heading back towards the bug-infested mines, I needed somehow to kill the other large cockroach, but with some AI management I rang on top. I also bashed with my hammer some of those marble stones, since I needed to get some marble materials. Heading back, I also collected some mushrooms from the Mistlands so I can farm with it. This is the only place where I can make, so it's kinda pain in the ass. Day 29. I explored some fossilures near the Mistlands, which I was swarmed with harmless vampire bats, and headed back towards the Mistlands since from my infested mines I found a boss location for the Queen, which is very nice. And I also found all the boss location up until the last Ashlands release, which I recorded before the update came out. However, right in front of me was the Kako Demon, so I headed all the way around. Day 30. I found an abandoned dwarf outpost outside the island that I once was, which I also got early soft tissue. I needed this for Itig. After traveling some distances in day 31 to 34, I found another infested mine, which hopefully is some more loot that I need. I eventually explored all that and I can finally make myself the new Black Forge, which unlocks the Mistlands tier items. Which the first weapon I'm gonna be crafting is the Claymore, and it looks pretty good and hits very hard. And that really pays up pretty well. It is expensive to make, but it is very handy. Eventually, after destroying my portal, I headed straight towards the Queen, which was a long journey. And in day 33, I found even a bigger tower, which I think it would be an even better base than I currently have. Eventually I reached the Queen, but the frame rate drops were so bad that I probably shouldn't record any of these due to the FPS drop. But now I found all the boss places up until the Ashlands. Day 34. I ventured back into the tower where I found it previously. After cooking some food in day 35, I built a staircase up and headed towards the balcony. Now, much like previously, I was just as arrogant when dealing with swarms of enemies. But since I was burning and almost dying, I jumped off the building and died. However, I cleared some stuff, looted the chest, killed the Ornstein and small rejects, and claimed an even better plane space, which is much longer. Day 36, I threw some eggs since my hen farm is slowly growing, got some milk and made a new chest. What could I say? Day 37, I killed a bison, got myself even better healing potion, and placed a new item in the chest. Not before long I got invaded by the horde of undead because my place is far pleasant than their stink holes. After the raids, I finished the remains. Crafted some new bolts and tested out with my new favorite weapon, the ballista. It's very accurate, packs a high damage, and it's stamina efficient, either free, and most importantly, you can get it without even before you get the Mistlands stuff, which is freaking good. Day 38, I dug a hole. Day 39, I made some walls, so slimes or trolls won't ruin my crops. I started to realize that the nearby goblin village might pose a bit of a threat, so I needed to clear all of them one by one. The bone bolts were kinda weak, but very ammo efficient, though the goblins were outsmarting me, and a 1-star orc basically led to my death. Day 40, while I may have gotten my stuff, I died plenty of time for getting my stuff, but I ultimately got it and cleared out the villagers, looted their stuff and burned it to the ground. I cultivated the farms, mined some stones, since walls need a lot of stones, you know. Day 41. I placed all the obsolete potion to the garbage can, made a cut and got some more stones until the pillars collapsed. I collected stacks of it and made more walls. Day 42, I collected even more stones from the pillars, but not before I alerted them another hordes of goblins. You know what Goblin Slayer says? The only good goblins are the ones who never come out from their stinking holes. And in day 43, I made some high grounds, made new walls for my bison farm, and in day 44 I higher up the ground and flooded to make a good farm. I also collected some copper and tin, so I maybe needed it for the plains farm, but maybe I don't need it. Day 45, I checked my swamp views a little bit, and afterwards I just smelted all the ores that I've collected. I hunted and mined some tar since I made it in the future, made a door, collected some berries, and made some grounds. Day 46, I smelted for more coal, built above the wall some crafting bench and flattened the ground. Now it's gonna be the taming bison time. Now the first bison was the one that chased me, but for some reason it was too fat, so I needed to rebuild some doors so that the bison will be imprisoned. Now the second bison I captured is two, but once near captivity I built the door and hoped that they don't break it. Unfortunately both of them broke my door, so I needed to make the earthen wall for it. And so fixed some improvements for my staircase. Day 47. I was clearing up all the faces with my great hammer on top of bottom. Used my crossbow to get on top of that. And as of recording this, Ashlands biome dropped, which was great. And since I can experience the biome at low levels. Day 48. I tried out with my torches. I knew I could get stacks of coals if I used any fire-based weapon. It didn't effectively work with the torch that I got because it's only effective with fire arrows or the other fire staffs, which I didn't have, but I didn't do about it. I just thought I could need the coal for it without needing to make some smelters, furnaces for it. I broke some leather and for my accident I fell off my staircase, and I was afraid that the logs were gonna kill me. However, just in time they actually got tamed and even got themselves a baby. And I got really lucky. Day 49. I shot everything about the tower so that I may make a beautiful base in the future. Jumped down and accidentally died. How sweet. Day 50. I took all my stuff and that goblin nearly killed me. Though I took a little bit of a dumb risk, but I managed to one-shot the goblin before he hit me. Because if he was basically hitting me, I died. I cleared every plank and cooked some buffalo food. It didn't give me good HP unlike the Mistlands meat, but that's all I needed. Let's go with the interesting exploration. Day 51. This is when I sailed, landed in a swamp, and in day 52 I took all my stuff and finally found the Ashlands biome near the coast. All I needed was a nearby harbor and hope that the wind was in the perfect favor for me. Day 53 is when I go full speed. I did notice that my boat took damage, but I needed to repair it in case. Now, I start sailing all the way until I reach these stone peaks. Sadly my boat broke, and I'm gonna be honest, I kinda cheated by safe quitting. But it is possible to land on the shores, but not with the small boats like I did. I landed myself with one of the peaks, but I feel like the other peaks was just better because, you know, it gave me a shortcut to the island. I also noticed the sea serpent, which might seem threatening due to damage indicator, but luckily the vultures were much more threatening, as the serpent kinda did fire and poison damage. I placed a portal and took all the new serpent material, which is very worth to get since that serpent meat gives me 90 health. And that's a nice thing. Now, I started to build the bridge from day 54 to 56 and almost had a near-death encounter with the vultures. But luckily Frostner saved my life, which I will not regret. I managed to find the island, which is good. I took my portal, which I'm not gonna lie, I did die towards the water, but that's mainly since the pillar was way too far away. And I got unlucky with the waves, but in case for safety. In the case you learn from me, you pretty much need like 2 portals, in case if you died the first one. I sniped that spawner until it got swarmed by these trash enemies, which resulted in me dying because they were underwater, since I couldn't reach them. Day 57, I built more of a bridge towards the island, and in day 58 I managed to land on the land and place a portal there. This place will bring me highest at the total of any run so far. So you're gonna see it that. I was smash swarmed by the enemies, but luckily I found a nuke coming in the form of the butchered horde. And while this biome might seem the least worth when it comes to loot, it makes up for it with the new upgrade material, with the form of molten core. And these things are needed because you can transport metal with it. I snapped one of the nearby pool and moved my portal step towards the cave since top is the safest to be, though I died as a result. Day 59, I took my stuff and faced against the warriors, which my god they hit hard. Maybe because I got the Fenris set, which I think I needed higher armor for it. I explored a bit of the west, died again until I found a new enemy, the Ashlands. And let me tell you, these are probably the most annoying and dangerous enemies you're gonna come across. And with the gear that I have, it's not gonna be taking the risk of getting hit. However, I did get the meat, which is very valuable to get. I found another pictured hole which has its own good loot, and run away when the gaping dragon woke up. Day 60, I headed towards the east, which I believe might have better loot until I got spawned by another enemies and died, so it was extremely far away. I tried to run all the way with naked, but I got sniped by these archers, so I needed better armor to protect myself. I cooked some better food and ate all the Ashlands meat. By god, look at this health pool. I took all my items as I could, and in day 61 I headed towards another pictured hole. Now with the fully upgraded silver armor, I expected myself to kill and last long against the gaping dragon, but I took pretty much a lot of damage, especially since I don't have the Bonemass ability, so it's not worth the risk. Now I headed towards my stuff until I got swarmed by 1-star skelly and vultures, and I did pull up my axe expecting it to be good against swarms, but I died so fast. I took my 3rd best armor set, which is root, and headed back to sleep for the next day. Day 62, I took my stuff and tried to get the other greystone, but I got absolutely swarmed, so it wasn't worth getting all the stuff. So I headed back. Well, I did manage to get all my stuff, but I felt that they were needing more upgrades for the Fenris set, as I felt its armor level was pretty low, and I needed to explore more of these frost caves. Though right now it's not worth it because there was a snowstorm and it drops my frame rates hard. Day 63 to 64, I did nothing but mountain exploring. I killed some wolves to get some pelts of it, made some caves exploring with fur loot. I also got myself 2 iron for it, which I needed for the once I get the molten stuff. I also got myself 2 iron, which I needed later. Now I headed back towards the large pussy head and cheesed it, as I was a little bit pissed myself to face it right now. And I felt like the first one was a better pick, so I finished and got my puss loot. I looted everything until I found one Vegsil location, which is pretty much the treasure hunt of sorts, which I can make the sword hilt from it, but I'll get it later. Day 65, I had another fight with the serpent, which was a successful kill. It dropped the head, but I couldn't pick it up since there was another serpent nearby, and I was bowling, so I headed back. I made the staircase up, and the reason I do it is mainly because I was trying to find iron nearby, but this was very RNG and I couldn't find one of them. So most of them dropped potions, bronze and silver for some reason, and it kinda bothers me. Now, I also built myself the first stone portal, which is amazing. Now I could transport these metal through these things. It's a bit of a late game thing, but once I start mining and things like that, it's very handy. After killing Morgan in day 66, I built one of those stone portals for the Ashlands, which I almost cheated. I remember that you can link the stone portals with the wooden one, so it's not a huge issue and I cleared one of those cheats. I also moved my mini boss dungeon portal towards the Mistlands base, and then I remembered that I needed the stone cutter to create a portal. The fact that I placed one near the silver ring and I can take all the silver towards save so much time without carrying it with both. It's actually one of the best additions to the game, despite being endgame. But in day 66 I smelted some of those silver and made another stone portals towards the plains. This time I can move all the black metals towards my home base, which I can make a new chest with these things once I start the plains tier. Day 68. I was hunting for some black slimes until I found a rare one, but I just ran away. Second later I cooked some food, chopped some chicken, and I was hunting for those cacodemons. I killed it, dropped a lot, and I was gonna leech it by ticks. Good thing I didn't get Lyme disease, as I sure Tanya solves every disease in the world. I hunted rabbits, upgraded my crew to max level, and repaired all my items. Day 69 I was collecting some berries, then I was trying to return towards the head medallion, yet it disappeared, but I hunted for the other serpent. I also found a 1-star fat lizard, which let me tell you, if he hits me, I will die in one hit. So, however, I did get my stuff and I managed to kill it, which took a pretty long time due to how much health they got. Day 70. I was exploring west side of the hidden treasure until a large Morgan shows up and tried to kill it, but for some reason I thought I trapped it, which I'm not sure how I got it. I know there's another Morgan, and at first I got ambushed by a vulture, but once I saw a lizard I just ran away from it. Day 71, I explored the lava place a bit and I found a fortress nearby lava place. Lo and behold, I did find it. I placed the crafting bench and the portal, and before I did anything I got ambushed by mobs of skeletons. At first their position might make me do AoE damage, but once their damage stacks, I made for some tactical retreats. Day 72, I cleared every skelly one by one. I and my ground as trying to top, but since it didn't reach enough, I made a wooden stairs and shot every spawner at the distance, which was pretty safe to be cleared. Then I built a 7 staircase from the other side and I did the same thing. After which I cleared every mob distance one by one until all of them were gone. I built the staircase up and cleared every turret and took last of the survivors. And I also took every loot I came across. I also dug down scenes if I can see I can get inside. But devs were smart enough so I couldn't access the inside. But I'll get to that later. I took my portal and placed inside the fortress so that I could safely claim this as my new Ashlands base. Day 73. There were 2 mobs below that tried to besiege my place, but the walls were so thick so they couldn't do anything. Though back at the cave I took all my portal stuff, placed all my stuff towards the new Ashlands base. And in day 74 I mined every greystone, mined the ground, lowered and made sure to same level as the rest of it. However, I got ambushed by a little giant bird from hell, which nearly killed me with its spin attack and nearly destroyed my portal. It was incredibly tough and intense, but I killed the bird and everything is fine. And thank God I'm alive, because if I died, I could lose all my items. Day 75. I built myself a new staircase for my base and I found another one style hell lizard. And in day 76 to 78, I did nothing else other than make a new floor with it, which I mined from the stones from ruins. I could mine regular stones with the pickaxe, but it was much easier to get the Morgans and spin all the stuff. After some while I reached the top and it looks incredibly safe to be in. No more ambushes from above. Day 79. I was exploring the western treasure place where I left off and finally reached my destination where I was looking for. I'm not taking the risk about these near spawners since 2-star skeletons will spawn, so I just shot at the far distance. I mined inside the structure and found some great treasure that I needed, including the sword grip, and also the second locator for the mini boss. I placed another portal far nearby another cave, and killed and looted everything inside of it as I needed. Day 18. I heard some nearby enemies that were attacking someone until I found a very camp. Now these dwarf camps may include the flame metal, so I may need it, but I need to clear the residence. I also got some ash wood that I need to get some crafting materials for it. Day 81. I headed back towards the mountains so I could get some silvers, until I got invaded by the Shreks again. Isn't it supposed to be cold? Day 82. I found another silver lane so I can mine it. I'm trying to get as much silver as possible since I can upgrade and craft something with it. I also made a circle around the large rock since I need a lot of stone for making a base. Which in day 83 I raised the stone ground wall so that enemies will not climb up towards my meadows base, because I needed those walls. I also mined this place as I may need for my bison so I could get some saddles once the plans start. Day 84. I did more digging for it, and in day 85 at the mountain I mined the entire stone pillar until the last of the parts crumbled. Day 86 I collected all the stones we dropped from below the mountains and mined it. And I also got some huge piles of rocks, even towards day 87. Day 88 I made a huge ground wall all around my base and mined every last drop of it. Now, it looks good. I also tightened the ground from the decals to make the mob AI follow even longer path to take. And in day 89 I even made a bigger moat to make as huge as possible. And by looks of it, it looks very satisfying. And in day 90, I got raided by trolls again. In day 91, I made even bigger moat, which is large enough. I also decided to build a new cooking station, or grill, as I felt like I needed to get the 20 stacks of meat faster, since the ones inside was not enough. So instead of relying on 5 at a time, with my crafty architect skills, I finally built the grill, which looks very practical. I also moved the old fermenters and moved the cauldron where my original cooking station was. Day 93, I tested on my cooking station with the seeker meat. I felt that the walls are a little bit too low, so I made a new one. I also explored a bit of Ashlands just to find some lizard meat. Day 93, I explored the Ashlands for more caves. I got a bit unlucky with the weather as I couldn't see well with the storm, and I died unluckily by the birds due to being stuck, but I got my stuff. I was hiding some bones so that I could find the last piece of the dino bones, and I also found another cave. After coming back towards my base, I built my rideable dino, which I could ride with it. Nice. Day 94, I explored inside the cave until I encountered a 1-star pussy monster. It was an incredibly tough fight and took forever to kill, but I ranked new supreme, so it wasn't a big deal. 95, I made up new stone portals near the dwarf place so I can teleport all the metal back into my base. Now, there's still survivors, but after some help with my friend I could finally steal all their stuff, but not without a cost. 96, I equipped my stuff, moved my portal and placed all my items, and I also built a new lantern from my forge that I got from the dwarf base. 97, I cut some wood, organized my chest, and for some reason the deer spawned nearby, but I scared it away. I also dropped some eggs and took down some useless stuff. Day 98, I cleared a really huge wall from my bison pen, made a door and collected all the farm stuff I could find, as mobs won't bother with it anymore. I shot the alligator that was harassing my ship. And finally at day 99, I prepared myself to face the boss by cooking up my food max tier and headed straight into the Mighty Pooh's lair. I placed the bones and prepared to face it with a ritual. Now, much like the previous bosses, the Mighty Pooh was just much of a pushover. It might be a pretty challenging iron stages, but the equipment I have is a whole different story. Now, since the Mighty Pooh's health was low enough, I decided to finish off with my fist. And since this Mighty Pooh was weak to fist despite doing low damage, I finished him off and cleared the rest of his minions. And I placed all the items in the chest, headed straight into the altars to get the best Forsaken power in the game, and headed straight into the celebration. Now, this has been my 100 days of Valheim without killing Bonemass. While I did cheat 3 times in total, and I am more or less trying to teach how possible you can get at low levels. However, for your dear viewers, I will make a new 100 days in the future, and this time it's gonna be modder. And as of now, I'm gonna be drinking my deer. I made a new drinking horn cup, drank with it, got to sleep, and I finally completed it. Thanks for watching.
Kisses of the sun were sweet, I didn't blink, I let it in my eyes. Like an exotic drink, the radio playing songs that I have never heard. I don't know what to say. Oh, not another word, just